I'm seeing sales teams that are still struggling with objections that they know they're going to get. You know that they're going to say, look, I'm busy, send me an email. Or I'm rushing into a meeting. I'm not interested. Call me next quarter. Whatever. Next time you come across this objection, I want you to say this verbatim. I'll just rush into a meeting. Can you call me later? Yeah, sure, I can play that game. Because guess what? The prospect isn't going to lose their job off the back of that. But you might. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sell the Future podcast. Objections, objections, objections. This is turning into a real problem. I will tell you why. SDRs and AEs are telling everyone they're having issues with objections, and in return, they're getting some basic advice on how to deal with and handle objections. Bottom line, it is not landing. How do I know that? Because when I am on sales floors, people are still getting stumped with send me an email. People are still struggling with I'm not interested. People are still struggling with how did you get my number? So today I have taken 5 key objections that every SDR and AE will face, every single sales rep will face, and I have written down verbatim, word for word, my own talk tracks of what you need to say every time you're faced with that objection, and I will then break it down and explain the psychology behind it and why it works today. Not one to be missed. But first, we are jumping into a LinkedIn post of the week, albeit this post is about a month old now. However, I have saved it because I think it's completely relevant. AEs, when you're on a demo, you run a great first demo, you loop in the wider stakeholders, and then you find yourself on a demo with 4 or 5 people potentially on it. How are you navigating it? Because look, once an SDR books in a demo for an AE and the demo sits, that's one hurdle jumped. First demo, and then you've booked in a follow-up demo, that's a second hurdle jumped. But once you get this far, one of the biggest reasons why demos, second and third demos don't close is because not enough people know exactly how to navigate all the different stakeholders on a meeting. So we're going to jump into a post by Chris Orlov. So those of you that know me know that I speak quite a bit about Chris Orlov posts. I think he's pretty much bang on with a lot of stuff that he says. So let's walk through this post, all right? 90% of sellers are terrible at group demos. 3+ buyers on the call, crickets. 5 steps to running group demos that close deals. There are some gems in here, guys. Let's talk through them. Step 1, what we heard. Most often, you've only met 1 or 2 people on the demo. The other people on the call, they're new voices in the deal. These are stakeholders that can influence your deal. They are super important. Okay, let's not ignore them. Guys, if there are stakeholders on a demo, they're not there because they've got nothing better to do. Yeah, you've got to treat them as these people are just as important as all the other people that you've spoken to already within the business. And therefore, you need to manage them and understand that they can derail your deal at any given moment. They're not up to speed yet, so that's your first agenda on group demos. Absolutely. Spend 5 minutes summarizing prior calls. Yes. Right? John, I know you're new to the call. Quick summary on what Helen and Sarah and I have covered on the previous demo, XYZ, right? Summarize it, the business problem, its root causes, its negative impact. Then get their input. Emily, talk to me about how this is showing up in your world. Great, you've got them involved straight off the bat. You've brought them up to speed with what you've done so far with their peers. And now you're looping them into the demo. Step 2, frame every feature with pain. Before you show any feature. Yep, I'm going to read that again. Frame every feature with pain before you show any feature. Frame the pain it solves. But Chris, didn't we already summarize the problem? Yeah, but you'll frame the macro problem. You're right. Now you're getting into the details. One of the issues John shared earlier was XYZ. Here's exactly how we address that. Perfect. Yep. This could be on a previous demo. One of the issues John shared earlier, or last time round, was XYZ. This bit that I'm going to show you is exactly how we address that. That pulls people into the demo with you. It gets them to engage. Bang on. Now, step 3, use everyone's names and toggle often. Notice in the above examples, I said Emily, I said John. Do this throughout the demo. Guys, this should be a constant, not just throughout the demo, throughout your whole sales cycle. From cold call, where initially you're trying to buy time, you want to at least name drop them, mention them first name, mention their first name at least 3 times. Yeah, what's the most important word to people? It's their first name. It's their own name. Human beings are selfish creatures. It's fact. Name drop, super important. And also it makes sure that you're getting them to listen and getting them to engage, right? Do it throughout the demo. Use people's first name. Call back to something they said earlier. Cycle through everyone. Repeat. Do that well. Impossible for them to tune out. Exactly that. Exactly that. If we're in the middle of a demo and I go, look, John brought this up earlier, Sarah. I'm just going to show you. This was super important. I've got John's thoughts on it. Let me show you. And I'd love to get your thoughts on it. I've just said John, Sarah, John, right? So even though I'm talking to Sarah, John, I've also got his attention. I've already named him twice. Make sure everyone is on the same wavelength. The worst thing that can happen, or one of the worst things that can happen, you run a demo. You've seen interest from 2 people on the demo. You take them with you, and the other guys are left behind. The other guys and girls are completely, they're back here, you're over here. You need to take everyone on the journey with you in the same bus. They can't be on separate buses. Step 4, ask engaging questions. After you share a key feature and how it solves for their problems, stop and ask a question. But stop asking these. Does that make sense? What questions do you have? These are gap fillers. They're like word fillers. Ums and ahs and likes. That's exactly what this is, just in sentence form. Does that make sense? You're filling space with nothingness. Yeah. We want to actually make sure that it resonates, right? Ask these instead. How does that compare to how you solve this? To what extent do you envision this solving X? Feels like that resonated. What struck a chord? What in particular struck a chord? Feels like that didn't resonate. Where did it miss? Why did it not quite land for you? Again, make these sound natural to yourself, right? So, for example, how does this sit compared to your current process? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it the same? And then dig a bit deeper. Oh, it's better because it solves this, this, and this. Okay, great. So imagine if we can solve that for you right now. How does that impact you personally? What does that free you up to do if we can solve that? Maybe it's just peace of mind, right? But dig a bit deeper. These are the type of questions you need to have, these stopgaps in demos to make sure everyone's on board and that they understand you're showing them the future state, then take them back to their current state and really exasperate the pain. Not, does this make sense? Do you have any questions? Yeah, because does that make sense? It's just like, yeah, it's a fob. It's just like, yeah, I can just fob that off. It doesn't really have to make sense. Just the answer is yes, right? What other answer am I going to give you? So combine this with the last few steps, you'll have a conversation on your hands. That's the whole point. We're trying to create a conversation, not a lifeless presentation, as he says. Now, step 5, host a discussion at the end. This is interesting. As you approach the end of your demo, back up and ask the group. In a second, we can talk about next steps, but I'm curious to hear from each one of you. What resonated most about what you saw today? John, let's kick off with you. What was the one thing that we looked at today that you're thinking, this could make a real difference in the business. That question sets expectations that each person engage, go around the room, ask opinions, toggle between people. If you notice, you guys, whenever you get training of any sort, whether it's internal or external training, at the end, they typically say, they either go around the room and say, what's the one thing you're going to take away from this session? And then people go around and say what they're going to take away, or write down the one thing you're going to take away. And then they'll ask you, what have you written down? It's a way of getting people to be engaged throughout, and then at the end, just cross-referencing and checking that everyone is on the same page, right? And it gives them the opportunity to verbalize and put out in the ether the actual best thing they're going to take away from this demo, right? Really, really good. Then go into next steps. That's it for now. Hope you like this. Look, this is a great post, and we shouldn't sleep on these kind of posts, right? Because we're going to find ourselves at times, even sometimes when there's 3 people on a demo, or you've done a demo, you've had an initial call with one person, and then they loop in someone, and then they've also looped in someone else that you weren't expecting. That's okay. That shouldn't throw you. It's not like, okay, I prepared for the VP of sales being on, but I didn't know the marketing director was going to be on. That's all right. Yeah. Engage them all. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Marketing Director, I spoke to John last time, and here's what we uncovered. And he was telling me about problem X, Y, and Z. This particular feature that I'm about to show you actually solves that. I'll be keen to get your input after I've shown you. Yeah. Then find out from them. That's great for John, and that really works well for his team. But if that frees John up to do X, Y, and Z, what's that impact going to be on you? Give me your perspective from a marketing lens, because obviously I was expecting the VP of sales on here, but I wasn't sure you were. Just curious to see, what are you looking to get out of today's meeting? Just go around and check like a human being. Imagine you're a host and you're having a dinner party and you're hosting. You're going to make sure every person there at the dinner party is looked after and everyone's good. That's exactly the same thing that you're doing here. Think of it like that. Make it natural. Make it a conversation. Don't ignore anybody, but make sure the guys that have missed out, just bring them up to speed. You might be at a dinner party and someone shows up late. They're going to feel out of the loop because you're in the middle of a conversation. Bring them up to speed. That would be the right thing to do, right? Exact same thing here. Guys, let me know in the comments if you found that useful. Really, really good. And if you have any questions, just drop them to me. I'm more than happy to answer. Edit. I will answer every single one of them for you personally. And in the link below, in the description rather, there is a link to my 50 best discovery questions. These are my personal discovery questions that I've put together. You will definitely be able to use some of them in these demos. They are free. Use them. Just download your free copy. It costs you nothing, and it's going to help you massively going into 2026. That I guarantee. Right. Said at the start of this podcast, objections. This is a real problem because what I'm seeing out there is someone will get an objection and someone will put a post on how to deal with it, and they'll show how they've kind of dealt with it, but it's not landing. I'm seeing sales teams that are still struggling with objections that they know they're going to get. You know that they're going to say, look, I'm busy, send me an email, or I'm rushing into a meeting, I'm not interested, call me next quarter, whatever. You know you're going to get these objections. And I don't know if it's on the sales reps. It's more on the people around the sales reps and the coaches of this world and the so-called gurus and whoever else to make sure that you have all the collateral to deal with it. You know who does this really, really well? Andy Elliott. He just has talk tracks built and he rings up car dealerships in the US. And then what happens is once they go through, he'll be like, right, next time you come across this objection, I want you to say this verbatim. And people are like, oh, well, you can't learn like that. Bullshit. Of course you can learn like that. You learn the talk track. I'm not asking you to recite it back like a fucking robot. But what I want you to do is learn the talk track and then just put your spin on it. So with that in mind, let's jump into 5 key objections I've put together for you guys. Objection number 1, send me an email. Answer, I can do that, but realistically, it's probably going to disappear with all the other emails in your inbox, right? Look, I have a couple of questions. From that, I'll be able to deduce if we should even be talking. Do you have a few minutes to run through them? Why do we like this? You're calling it out and you're just lowering the walls of pressure and you're speaking to them on a human level. Look, I can do that. I can send you an email, but realistically, let's be honest, it's just going to get lost in your inbox, right? Or with all your other emails. Look, John, I have a couple of questions. Throw in your first name. Look, John, I have a couple of questions. Really lower the temperature down. From that, I'll be able to deduce if we should even be talking. Do you have a few minutes to run through them? Make your ask sound like a no-brainer. Make it sound like this is very, 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 very doable. Yes, I can send you an email, but in reality, you're not going to read it, right? And all I need is a couple of minutes to figure out if actually we should even be talking. Does that sound doable? That's basically what you're saying. Now, one answer I hear to this objection, send me an email, and it's quite popular, is, sure, I can do that. Just so I know, what exactly do you want me to highlight in the email? Or what exactly do you want me to include in the email? Now, why don't I like this? Because we're playing this, we're going around in a merry dance and we're playing this game. What is the aim of asking them when they've said, send me an email, and clear as day, it's a fob off. Yeah. Send me an email. Basically meaning, listen, I've got other things to do right now. I'm not interested. Right. I've got a ton of things to do. You call me out of the blue. Like, this is just send me an email. This is a way to get you off the phone. Why would you then go, what do you want to put in the email? What are you hoping to achieve? Are you hoping for them to go, well, actually, and then what? Gotcha. You didn't know what you want me to put in the email. How's that helpful? Yeah. Listen, you've called them out of the blue. They want you to send an email. I can do that, but realistically, it's just going to disappear amongst all your other emails. I'm wasting my time. You might not even read it. Well, let's be honest, you probably won't read it. Whereas if I take a couple of minutes now to deduce whether we can actually help you even, you may never need to hear from me again, right? 2 minutes now, or endless emails and then some other rep calling you back in 2 weeks or 3 months. What would you rather? That's why I prefer this way. By the way, guys, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. Also, if you're still here and you're enjoying this type of video, don't forget to like and make sure you subscribe. It really helps the channel and the algorithm. Objection number 2. I'm rushing into a meeting. Can you call me later? Answer. Hate to call you out here, John. He did just pick up, so he must have at least 30 seconds, right? Again, objection handling isn't about playing your prospect's silly little game where neither side wants to offend the other one's feelings. Sometimes a bit of friction is good. It gets to the actual root, especially if you're a professional and you say it with confidence and you come with a tonality of, look, John, I hate to call you out on it, bud, but you did just pick up, so I know you got 30 seconds. As opposed to, yeah, sure, what time should I call you? What time's better for you? Yeah, try me back end of the day. Yeah, absolutely fine. I'll do that. I just had a cold call half an hour ago from an internet provider, and I've gone, look, I'm jumping into a meeting right now. Can you shout me later? After 5, after 6. Yeah, sure. That's great. I'll try you then. Have a great day. Guess what? You're done. You're cooked. Because guess what? They're going to ring me at 6. Am I going to pick up? I'll probably be busy. I don't know. Now, they hung up before I could say, hey, this is what you should be doing. Call me out. What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? You picked up. Don't forget, guys, they picked up the call, so they do have time, but just for the right person. You need to make sure that you let them know you're the right person. Objection number 3. Not interested. Classic. Answer. John, of course you're not. If you were interested, you would have called me. That's not lost on me. My question, though, is, are you not interested because you've already looked into a specific solution? Or is it that you've got a million and one things on right now? I've called you out of the blue and this just isn't a priority for you. Not a priority for me. Absolutely fine. What is? Progress the conversation. Don't butt heads. Don't go not interested. What is it that you're not interested in? Yeah. What exactly are you not interested in? That's combative. I saw this on LinkedIn last week or week before. I'll bring it up. I'll find it. When I do, I'll show it on the podcast. But someone went along the lines and they said it very nicely. So it didn't sound combative. And a lot of this is about tonality. Sorry, what exactly you're not interested in? Don't do that. It will get my back up. Would it get your back up? Someone's called you out of the blue. You've gone up. Look, not interested. Ain't got time for this. What are you not interested in? What? You fucking what? I just told you I'm not interested, mate. Get off my line. That is not what we're trying to achieve here. Yeah, I'm not interested. Look, John, I know you're not interested. Right? I know you're not sitting around there waiting for my call all day, buddy. It's not lost on me. Quick question, though. Yeah, that's the kind of angle we want to go at. John, of course you're not. If you were interested, you would have called me. That is not lost on me. My question, though, is, are you not interested because you've already looked into a specific solution, or is it that you've got a million and one things on right now? I've called you out of the blue, and this just isn't a priority for you. Which is it? Lead him down road number 2. It's not a priority. Absolutely fine. What is? Progress the conversation. Well, budget freezes. We're actually looking not to spend. Super interesting that you say that. We actually spoke directly with your competitor 6 months ago, and they had the exact same objective as you. However, when we did a bit of digging, we realized they had 16 different learning management systems and tools that was actually costing them X. And we reduced that cost down by Y using a single solution platform. I'm not saying that we can do that for you, but the only way we can figure out if we can be of any assistant is to take 5 minutes and just run through a couple of questions to see if we could even be relevant. Does that sound doable? Progress the conversation. Guys, let me know, by the way, what is your answer on not interested? How are you guys doing it? Maybe you disagree with me. Let's have a conversation about it. Objection number 4. How did you get my number? Answer. John, would you be totally shocked if I said we partner with a leading data provider and they had your number? It's 2025, John. Yeah? Do you mean, how did you get my number? You understand there's data out there. You understand that there's data providers out there. You understand that you're out there in the ether. Is it that shocking in 2025 that there are data providers out there that can provide your work number and your business email address? No, it's not. Yeah. But you need to say it like that. How did you get my number? Oh, well, and I was using such and such tool and they provided the number. Well, I want you to delete my number. Okay, cool. I can do that. How do I get it off their database? What the fuck are we talking about? Yeah, we've heard those conversations, haven't we? When a prospect goes, what? You got it off where? Right. How do I get it removed from there? Well, actually, yeah, you need to contact them. And we've spent 90 seconds talking about a prospect who wants to get their number removed from a data provider that you don't even have the contact details for. Right? What the fuck are we doing? That is not how we want this to go. You need to nail this talk track and make it sound like you. John, would you be totally shocked if I said that we partner with a leading data provider and that they had your number? It's just 2025, John. Yeah? Yeah. All right. It's believable. Anyway, I'm busy. I'm rushing into a meeting. Hey, hate to call you out on it, John. And so on. Right. Before we jump into objection number 5, I do want to get your thoughts, guys. Please do let me know if you want to discuss any of these objections, or if you're struggling with it and it's not sounding natural, we can practice it. It's all about practice. Yeah. Learn the talk track first, job number 1, then put your style and spin on it, number 2. Objection number 5. The timing isn't right. Maybe next quarter. Answer. No problem at all, John. Look, I can circle back then. Just so we're on the same page, what's happening next quarter that will make this more relevant? Yeah. Deliver that with confidence. Timing isn't right. Maybe next quarter. Okay. No problem. Look, we've had a bit of a discussion. You're saying timing's not right. Then let me ask you, what is happening next quarter that is going to make this more relevant? Yeah. Sometimes you can't call out the bullshit straight away. So you kind of have to play their game to go, what will make this more relevant? Well, actually, I'll have more budget, or, well, it might become a bit more priority. I'm confused. Like, surely from what we've learned so far, like, this would actually be a priority, right? If I could showcase to you that you're saving X, Y, and Z per quarter, surely pushing it back a quarter wouldn't make any sense. Why would that timing be any better? Like, help me understand that, John. You don't have to be combative, but you can have that type of conversation. Go in with a curious mindset, because you really are trying to help these people. You're not having a conversation and thinking you can't help them. So when someone says to you, like, I don't think it's the right time, like maybe next quarter, if a friend said something like that, so you're convinced, your friend, and you've said something to them, yeah, maybe I'll check it out next month. Oh, John, you need to get such and such package on your TV. It's great because it's got this, this, and this. And I know you love this. Yeah, maybe I'll do it next year. What? Why would you wait till next year? That doesn't make any sense, right? You'd call your friend out on it. So call your prospect out. You're just going to have to do it in a slightly different manner. No problem at all, John. I can circle back then, just so we're on the same page, though. I don't want to waste your time nor mine. What's happening next quarter that will make this more relevant for you? Yeah? Deliver it like that. I don't want to waste your time. I definitely don't want to waste my time. I'll be honest. What's actually happening next quarter that will make this more relevant? Well, John, were you just trying to get me off the phone? Well, yeah, maybe. Okay, here's why I think you shouldn't. Guys, everything is a conversation. Life is sales. When you're speaking to your friends, they give you objections to something and it doesn't make sense. What are you going to do? You're going to call them out on it. If it doesn't make sense, call them out. If a prospect says something, it doesn't make sense, I'm just curious, like, because look, Mr. Prospect, you told me at the start of this call that X, Y, and Z was a real issue for the business. I'm just really confused. Like, why would I now put this on hold, or why would you put it on hold to the next quarter? That makes no sense. Call it out. What's the worst that's going to happen? Right? I'll tell you what's going to happen if you don't call it out. Close to the exit door, my friend. Facts. We're in a tough time. Markets are tough. Complex times. You ain't got time to fanny about and play someone else's game, because you being nice to a prospect and playing their game. Oh, John, I've just rushed into another meeting. I've just rushed into a meeting. Can you call me later? Yeah, sure, I can play that game, because guess what? The prospect isn't going to lose their job off the back of that, but you might. In fact, you will. You will. Mark my words. Businesses haven't got time to mollycoddle you and you getting up to speed and giving you extra time. We're just not in that type of market, guys. We're in a real tough environment in SaaS. And you think that's getting any easier come Jan 2026? No. Skill up. Your job depends on it. Go in with that urgency. Go in with that curiosity and question your prospect. If it doesn't make sense and it doesn't add up, there's no point getting off that phone and then questioning it. Am I right? Am I right? Guys, that is it for another episode of the Sell the Future podcast. I hope you found this useful. Chris Orlob, LinkedIn post, how to deal with multiple stakeholders on a demo. Really great tips. Make sure you take the bits out of there, make it your own. And then objections, those 5 key objections. I guarantee you're all going to get those objections. These are not random objections. I've picked those 5 out on purpose because, let's be honest, spade a spade, we all know we're going to get those objections. Your job is to be prepared so that when you do get the objection, you are ready. How do you do that? Learn the talk track, practice it, Practice it with your peer. Practice it with your colleagues. Yeah. Make it a game, but practice it daily and it will just become second nature. And if you disagree with anything that I've said today, as I said, drop me a comment. Guys, if you're still here to the end, I really appreciate you. This really helps me reach more people. So if you can give it a like and subscribe, you're here to the end for a reason. You must like the video, give it a like. And as I said, subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And if you haven't had enough of me, click right here and I'll see you right in there.